The Chicago Bears' Thanksgiving Day loss to the Detroit Lions on November 28, 2024, proved to be a breaking point for both the team's season and the relationship between head coach Matt Eberflus and his players. The game ended in dramatic fashion, with the Bears trailing 23-20 and driving toward a potential game-tying field goal. However, in the final 32 seconds of the game, the Bears failed to use their final timeout, allowing valuable seconds to tick off the clock, which ultimately led to their inability to set up a successful field goal attempt. This catastrophic failure not only sealed their defeat but also ignited a firestorm of frustration that would later cost Eberflus his job. ### locker room turmoil. The aftermath of the loss was marked by intense anger and disappointment inside the Bears' locker room. According to multiple reports, including from The Athletic's Adam Johns and Diana Rossini, the scene was described as ugly and chaotic. The frustration that had been building over the course of the season reached its boiling point, with players, coaches, and staff members openly venting their anger. Jaylon Johnson, a team captain and cornerback, was reportedly emotional and pissed about the game's ending and directed much of his anger at Eberflus. Johnson's frustration seemed to represent a broader sense of dissatisfaction with the team's overall performance under Eberflus, particularly regarding the head coach's time management and decision-making. One player summed up the mood in the locker room. "Guys were furious. It was an accumulation of this season." The failure to call a timeout in the final moments was seen as yet another instance of poor decision-making that had plagued the Bears all season long. Several players and staff members expressed disbelief that a coach could make such a costly error at such a critical juncture in the game. Another player described the situation as too many instances where we fought our way back into games to lose because of bad time management and decision-making, highlighting a season-long trend of missed opportunities and unforced errors. ### Eberflus postgame address and quick exit. Following the game, Matt Eberflus addressed the team in the locker room, trying to rally the players by delivering a message of sticking together. However, this message fell flat in light of the catastrophic loss and the mounting frustration within the squad. Eberflus was reportedly met with more shouting and criticism as the players let their emotions spill out. After his brief address, Eberflus quickly exited the locker room, not sticking around to further engage with the players or try to calm tensions. His swift departure added to the sense of detachment and frustration among the players, who felt that their concerns were being ignored by the coaching staff. ### Bears front office responds. Behind the scenes, the Bears front office had already begun discussing Eberflus' future. The team had been struggling throughout the 2024 season with a 4-8 record, and the loss to the Lions appeared to be the final straw. Despite the apparent desire to make a change, the Bears organization allowed Eberflus to hold his regularly scheduled post-game video conference with reporters. Sources suggest that this decision was made to avoid sending a signal that a firing had already been decided. If the press conference had been canceled or postponed, it might have alerted the public to the impending move. That same Friday, just hours after his media session, Eberflus was officially fired, marking the first time in franchise history that the Bears had dismissed a head coach during a season. The decision came after months of underperformance and a string of bad losses, including the Thanksgiving Day debacle. ### a season of disappointment. Eberflus' firing underscored the frustration that had been mounting all season long. While the Bears' lackluster 4-8 record was a major factor, it was the repeated breakdowns in key moments, especially around time management and in-game decision-making, that seemed to push the players and front office to the brink. The team had often fought back in games, only to see their efforts squandered by late-game mistakes or coaching blunders. The Bears will now turn their attention to finding a new head coach who can inspire the team and improve its decision-making, as the players continue to wrestle with the disappointment of what could have been a much more successful season.